Ever wonder what happens to unwanted cars? We're talking about the Chrysler 300 SRT 8-Core, which stripped out luxury for a budget muscle sedan, and the Kia Stinger GT Limited, a luxury sports sedan stuck with its brand's image. What went wrong? Were they too weird, too expensive, or just plain bad? Join us as we uncover the 20 worst muscle cars that dealers can't get rid of. The Chrysler 300 SRT8 was already a unique proposition. A big, comfy sedan with a monstrous 6.4-liter Hemi V8. This engine pumped out 470 horsepower, launching this luxury cruiser to 60 in just 4.5 seconds. Not bad for a car that could comfortably fit your whole family. But then Chrysler had this idea, the Core model. Strip out some of the luxury features like heated, cooled seats, navigation, and that fancy Harman Kardon sound system. Make it cheaper, right? Appeal to the budget-minded muscle enthusiast. Except it didn't quite work out. Luxury car buyers weren't interested in a stripped-down version. They either went for the fully loaded SRT8 or looked at its rivals like the Dodge Charger SRT8, which offered similar performance with a more muscular design. The 300 SRT 8-Core started at around $45,000, which wasn't exactly cheap for what you got. Next up, we have a car that tried to challenge the luxury performance establishment. The 2019 Genesis G73.3T Design Edition. Genesis, Hyundai's luxury brand, was still relatively new, but they came out swinging with the G70. Under the hood, you got a 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6 churning out 365 horsepower. The Design Edition added 19-inch wheels, Brembo brakes, a sport-tuned suspension, and even a limited slip differential. It was a serious performance machine, and critics loved it. But here's the problem. Brand recognition.
Steering wheel moves, very nice. Beautiful car.
Genesis was the new kid on the block, going up against giants like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi. In the luxury market, the badge on the hood matters a lot. The G70's price didn't help either. While it was competitively priced, it wasn't significantly cheaper than its German rivals. But sometimes, even established brands can't save a car from flopping. Stick around to find out why. The Dodge Magnum SRT 8. This beast of a wagon was a throwback to when you could have your cake and eat it too. Practicality and performance in one package. That 6.4-liter Hemi V8 pumped out 470 horsepower, making this the ultimate grocery getter for those who also like to win stoplight drag races. Sadly, by 2015, any Magnum SRT 8S you found were on the used market, often with high mileage and questionable history. So why did this awesome wagon fail in the first place? Well, the wagon market was already shrinking. SUVs were taking over, offering similar space with a more rugged image. And that thirsty V8? Not exactly a selling point when gas prices were on the rise.
It doesn't like the manual mode sometimes.
The Magnum SRT8 was a victim of changing times. It's a cult classic now, a reminder of a time when wagons could be both practical and exhilarating. Ever heard of a sleeper car? It's that unassuming ride that hides a surprising amount of power. The 2016 Ford Taurus Show Performance Package was aiming for that title. It looked like your average family sedan, but under the hood was a 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 with 365 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. The SHO Performance Package also got you all-wheel drive, a sport-tuned suspension, upgraded brakes, and a throatier exhaust note. It was designed to surprise those unsuspecting sports cars that might try to challenge you at a stoplight. But here's the thing. The Taurus SHO just couldn't escape its image. It was the car your dad drove to work, not the car you took to the track. The styling was bland, almost deliberately so. And while the EcoBoost V6 was powerful, it lacked the visceral roar of a V8. In a world where image and excitement are key, the Taurus SHO just couldn't keep up. It was a capable performer, but it lacked the personality and the wow factor that buyers in this segment crave. Speaking of personality, let's check out a car that had plenty of it, but still couldn't find buyers: the Volkswagen Golf R. Let's switch gears now and talk about a car that took a different approach to performance: the 2015 Volkswagen Golf R. This hot hatchback took everything great about the standard Golf: its practicality, its versatility, and added a serious dose of performance. That turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder produced 292 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, sent to all four wheels through a sophisticated all-wheel drive system. It also had a sport-tuned suspension and a lightning-fast dual-clutch transmission, but it was expensive. The Golf R started at around $37,000, which put it in the same price range as a larger, more powerful performance cars. For many buyers, that was a lot of money for a hatchback, no matter how good it was. The Golf R's understated styling might have also played a role in its less than stellar sales. While it had some sporty touches, it still looked like a Golf at its core. Some buyers might have preferred something with a more aggressive and attention-grabbing design. Ever looked at a Chevrolet Impala and thought, this needs more menace? Well, Chevy did, because they released the 2017 Impala Midnight Edition. It came with a 3.6-liter V6, making 305 horsepower, blacked-out trim, and a somewhat sporty suspension.
A 0 to 60 time of 6 seconds demonstrates just how motivated this engine is, and it sounds good too.
But let's be real, the Impala, even with the Midnight Edition treatment, was still a big family sedan. It lacked the soul of a true muscle car. That V6, while decent, just didn't have the same growl as a V8. The Impala Midnight Edition also faced tough competition from other full-size sedans that offered similar features and performance, often at a lower price. Cars like the Toyota Avalon, Nissan Maxima, and even the Ford Taurus were vying for the same buyers. Ultimately, the Impala Midnight Edition was a decent attempt to add some sportiness to a comfortable sedan. But it seems buyers weren't convinced.
Now in its third model year, Chevy's Antelope goes dark with the available Midnight Edition appearance package.
They either wanted a true muscle car with a V8 or a more affordable family sedan with better fuel economy. But Nissan tried a similar trick with the Maxima. Did it work? Let's find out. Okay, we've got another Midnight Edition for you. The 2018 Nissan Maxima SR Midnight Edition. Nissan was going for a sportier, more youthful vibe with this one. It had the blacked-out grille, wheels, spoiler, the whole 9 yards. And under the hood, a 3.5-liter V6 with 300 horsepower, paired with a CVT transmission. Not bad, but it's still a Maxima. It's a comfortable cruiser, not a track weapon. The problem is, in this segment, you've got some serious competition. Cars like the Infiniti Q50 Red Sport 400 with its 400 horsepower twin-turbo V6. Or the BMW 340i with its refined handling and powerful engine. The Maxima, even with the sporty trim, just couldn't keep up. It's a classic case of trying to be something you're not. The Maxima SR Midnight Edition was a good car, but it wasn't a great sports sedan. And in this market, Good just doesn't cut it. Now for something completely different. The 2017 Hyundai Veloster N.
Presenting old Ford cars that time forgot. 1942 Ford Super Deluxe Convertible. You may rightfully ask who could ever forget about an old Ford convertible. After all, what's not to like? There's a really good answer, and it's a little old thing called the Second World War. When the United States pivoted from isolationist nation to active participant in December of 1941, its industrial base was transformed, literally overnight, into a war machine. For its part, Ford built the Willow Run factory where it cranked out 650 B-24 bombers per month. It wouldn't be until the 1946 model year when Ford would start building civilian cars again, but you could consider yourself lucky if you were one of the 2,920 people who nabbed one of Ford's 1942 Super Deluxe convertibles, the least common model for the truncated model year. 1954 Ford Crestline Skyliner. You can't have a 120-year history as a successful automaker if you have too many failures, and finding those can be hard for a brand like Ford, but they're out there to discover if you dig. With the 1954 Ford Crestline Skyliner, it was the auto industry's first expression of the now popular moonroof option, but the Skyliner was priced identically to Ford's Sunliner, a convertible, which was far more popular. The plexiglass roof cast a strange glow over the interior, and without modern air conditioning, it could get wicked hot inside. Just 13,344 Skyliners were sold in 1954, and by 1955 the Ford Skyliner was gone. When a similar arrangement with a plexiglass roof came to the 1955 Fairlane Crown Victoria, it too was far less popular than the steel roof model, with only 1,999 sold. Though the moonroof would eventually become a prized option, that would not happen until efficient air conditioning became mainstream. 1957 Ford Business Sedan. Anyone with the most modest knowledge of cars and American history knows that 1957 was a banner year for the U.S. auto industry, and Detroit's big automakers all had huge success that year, Ford included. Sales for Ford's redesigned 1957 model were solid, with 1.7 million cars sold versus Chevy's 1.5 million, and to a lesser degree the 57 Plymouth, with its futuristic-looking fins that would capture the nation's automotive imagination for the decades to come. At Ford, Bob McNamara's preference for designing and building utilitarian transportation mimicked the Model T from decades before, but unlike the Model T, it had to compete with spicier-looking models at similar prices. This, coupled with the fact that the 1957 Ford had structural weaknesses and its roof was prone to rusting out, meant that not many would survive, and those that did would be considered less desirable than same-year Chevys and Dodges. A mild recession in 58 and 59 was followed by the installation of Lee Iacocca at Ford's helm in 1960, and a return to style and performance. 1958 Edsel citation. Edsel Ford was the first and only son of Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company. Edsel often played the role of devil's advocate with his father and leaned into a stiff headwind for some of Ford's best ideas, such as the Model A, the flathead V8, and by creating the entire Mercury brand in 1939. Nevertheless, Edsel Ford died of cancer in 1943, 15 years before the Ford division bearing his name was founded in 1958. Ironically, it is the eponymous brand name that Edsel Ford is most commonly known for, the failure of which he would have no control over. Though the upscale Edsel car line of 1958 to 1960 provided a lot of value and style for the money, its timing into the market corresponded perfectly with an economic recession that spelled doom for the brand. As a result, the name Edsel is synonymous with commercial failure. A look at the final 1960 Edsel model showed what the brand's future could have been under the unique stylistic guidance of Elwood Engel, who would move to Chrysler after the rise of Eugene Bourdonnais in 1961. One silver lining to the Edsel story: the extra manufacturing capacity that had been added for Edsel production was instrumental in making the 1959 Ford Falcon a huge success. 1975 Ford Granada Sport Coupe. The U.S. auto industry of the 1970s and 1980s was in a tumultuous time as manufacturers scrambled to react to the twin problems of a fuel shortage and the flood of fuel-efficient imports. Each of the big four manufacturers developed smaller cars that combined better fuel economy with the perceived need for luxury and comfort. At Chrysler, there was the Dodge Aspen and the Plymouth Volare. At GM, there was the midsize Monte Carlo and Malibu. American Motors had the Concorde, and at Ford, there was the Granada. The Granada was inspired by the proportions of the Mercedes-Benz, and in sport coupe version was a well-proportioned car which, when combined with its available small block V8s, can make for an expressive and unique hot rod. Nevertheless, the Granada, unlike its GM and Mopar cohorts, has largely been forgotten by today's hot rodders for no apparent reason. 1977 Ford Maverick Stallion. With Ford's new truck-based Maverick on our doorstep, the public, or at least the internet, is on the verge of forgetting about the original compact Maverick passenger car of 1970 to 77.
And now, into the select circle of the world's great performance cars comes Ford's Maverick.
Did you say Maverick?
You gotta be kidding.
Come on. Maverick.
Yes, Ford's new Maverick Grabber. Does the Grabber belong with these performance cars? Well, yes and no. No, it doesn't have a monster engine. No, it doesn't have a monster price. No, it doesn't have high insurance rates, and it doesn't use premium gas. But yes, you do get wild Grabber colors.
Designed to continue in the tradition of Ford's original compact, the Falcon, the Maverick competed successfully with an invasion of imports. Even when the Granada was introduced to replace the Maverick in 1975, the Maverick was so popular that Ford decided to produce the two cars side by side through the 1977 model year. With fuel efficiency and household operating costs being far more important than performance throughout the Maverick's production, you'd think the Maverick would avoid such pretensions. But in 1977, Ford offered the Maverick Stallion option on the two-door Maverick sedan. The sports-minded owner got blackout treatment on the grille, front end, windshield molding, wiper arms, backlight, and outside mirrors. Special paint tape treatment was given to the hood, roof, deck lid, and lower body, and a distinctive fuel cap and performance-look wheels got the nod. With not a single lick of real performance hardware, the Stallion Maverick sticker package died quietly after 1 year. 1978 Ford Fairmont. One of the most wildly popular old Ford cars today is the Fox body Mustang. Notwithstanding this moniker, there were other Fox platform cars besides the Mustang. Beating the Mustang to market by a full year was the Fox body Ford Fairmont, the replacement for the Ford Falcon. When the Fairmont bowed in 1978, it was a further evolution of Ford's forward-thinking, lightweight unit body construction. Mostly forgotten today, the Fairmont was the beginning of a long line of compact rear-drive cars with McPherson strut suspension, available V8 power, and a live rear axle, among them the Mustang, the aero-enhanced Ford Thunderbird and Mercury Cougar, and the Lincoln Mark VII. Though the Fairmont is considered dull and is seldom remembered today due to its humble family car beginnings, it was the springboard for most of the Ford performance revolution that came to pass in the 1980s and 1990s. 1980 Ford Courier. Riding the wave of imported compact trucks of the 1970s and 1980s, the Ford Courier was a rebadged Mazda B-Series truck that sold in high numbers between 1972 and 1982. In spite of a 25% chicken tax tariff on light trucks imposed by Lyndon Johnson in 1964, mini trucks, as we've come to call them, became a staple of inexpensive and economical transportation, with imports like the Chevy Love, Mazda B-Series, and Toyota Hilux competing for market share. Between 1972 and 1982, Mazda built the Ford Courier mini truck as a cab chassis sans truck bed so that it could be imported with only a 4% tariff, after which a bed would be added in the U.S. to complete its construction as a domestically built vehicle. Pressure from the UAW would eventually bring this process to a halt across most domestic brands, and the chicken tax loophole was eventually closed in 1980. Today, the Mazda-sourced Ford Courier mini truck has largely been forgotten by everybody except mini truck enthusiasts, and examples are rarely seen in the wild. 1982 Ford XP. It was built on Ford's North American front-wheel drive Escort platform between 1982 and 1988. Mercury also had the XP, but it was called the LN7 and was only built from 1982 to 1983. Its small scale and sleek design promised excitement, and if you squinted just a little bit, you could pretend it was a new Porsche sports car. Perhaps the XP's biggest mistake is that it was so good-looking that it inherently overpromised on the most reasonable performance expectations. Designed to compete with cars like the Pontiac Fiero, Honda CRX, and Toyota MR2, the EXP was an abject failure as a performer, and in its top variant, the EXP Turbo Coupe of 1984 could only muster a 0 to 60 time of 9 seconds, thanks to a 1.6-liter turbo producing just 120 horsepower. 1984 Ford SVO Mustang.
The new Mustang SVO, the machine, speaks for itself.
By 1984, the world was beginning to figure out performance in a new regime of low emissions and high efficiency. This new world performance order, driven by displacement bans and tariffs in Europe and Japan, was similar to the muscle car era, yet was decidedly more responsible. With Americans hungry for high-tech performance from overseas, Ford endeavored to give the Mustang a more European flair with Ford's Special Vehicle Operations version, sold from 1984 to 1986. Under the hood was a fuel-sipping single overhead cam 2.3-liter inline-4 that put out 200 horsepower thanks to electronic fuel injection and intercooled turbocharging. The SVO not only had power, but was fuel-efficient too, and it could handle and stop thanks to an overdrive 5-speed manual transmission and first-ever standard 4-wheel disc brake system. As good as the SVO was, it still wasn't as fast or as cheap as its 5-liter powered Mustang LX and GT siblings, and was doomed from the outset to play a secondary role.
Welcome back to Classic Car YouTube channel. Today, we're showcasing some classic cars on the marketplace with unbelievably low prices. If you're a classic car enthusiast or looking for a restoration project, stay tuned to find some amazing deals. And for those of you who want to purchase this car, please check the video description.
Number 1. This 1963 Chevy Bear, priced at $6,500, is an all-original 4-door sedan with 60,000 documented miles, powered by a 283 V8 engine paired with a Powerglide transmission. This car was purchased new in September 1963 by the seller's wife's grandfather in Ottawa, Kansas. Included with the vehicle are the original owner's manual, registration, and a notebook meticulously documenting maintenance and lifetime warranty services, with corresponding dates and mileage. The gas and brake pedals, still original, reflect the car's low usage. The body is straight and never wrecked, with one small dent in the rear driver trim by the bumper and minimal rust. The interior retains its original look but shows signs of aging. The headliner is falling, and the seats have small rips, with the top of the back seat in need of recovering. The dash and instrument panel remain in excellent condition, and the car has never been smoked in. Externally, the car could benefit from a new paint job, as the finish is original. Recent updates include a new muffler and tailpipe in December 2024 and new tires installed a few years ago. Routine maintenance, such as a rebuilt carburetor, fuel pump, neutral switch, and water pump, has been performed to keep the car in running condition. The suspension has been refreshed with new front-end parts, including ball joints, tie rods, upper and lower control arm shafts, and bushings, ensuring a smooth and straight ride. This Chevy starts right up and drives nicely, making it an excellent candidate for preservation or restoration. While the seller is not open to trades, they are willing to answer questions or provide additional pictures upon request. Payments must be made traditionally, as modern payment methods like Venmo are not accepted. This car is a rare opportunity to own a well-documented piece of history, offering originality and charm while maintaining a firm price point for serious buyers. Number 2. This 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass S, priced at $18,500 and located in LEL, offers a well-maintained classic experience, powered by a 455 Ci big block engine paired with an automatic Hurst floor shifter. The car features a 10-volt Posey rear, power steering, and power disc brakes. The engine was rebuilt to stock specifications 4 years ago and runs smoothly with a 650 CFM 4-barrel carb and dual exhaust. It sits on steel Oldsmobile rally wheels and includes an upgraded aluminum radiator and rear sway bar for improved performance. The car's interior is in good condition, rated 8 out of 10. The driver's seat has a split seam, but the headliner, door cards, and carpet are in great shape. While the car lacks a radio and heater box, the seller had planned to install a vintage air kit, leaving this as a potential upgrade for the new owner. All gauges function, though the fuel gauge occasionally fluctuates. The exterior is rated 7 out of 10, with a solid body and all original sheet metal, free of rust or rot. The clear coat is peeling, making a repaint necessary for show-quality restoration, but it remains respectable as a driver or for local car shows. The floors and undercarriage are in excellent condition, highlighting the vehicle's solid structure. This Cutlass S offers a comfortable driving experience and is a turnkey car, ready for immediate use. It represents an ideal combination of performance and reliability for enthusiasts seeking a classic muscle car with a blend of mechanical upgrades and originality. This car is a great option for collectors and drivers alike, whether you're looking for a dependable cruiser or a restoration project. This Oldsmobile delivers both functionality and classic appeal. Number 3. This 1965 Ford Thunderbird, priced at $14,995 and located in Arita, is a well-maintained classic, with most of the restoration work already completed. The car is in excellent condition both mechanically and cosmetically, with the exception of the door panels and dash cover, which remain unrestored. Its exterior features well-preserved paint with no visible dings, complemented by more than 50% tread life remaining on the tires. The vehicle has been owned by a non-smoker and includes a full-size spare tire. The interior is exceptionally clean, reflecting careful upkeep over the years. Mechanically, the Thunderbird's engine operates flawlessly, with smooth transmission shifts and brakes in excellent condition. The car has no prior collision history and has been maintained with a focus on reliability and performance, including a battery in top condition. The Thunderbird's elegant lines and attention to detail make it a standout in the classic car market. With its well-preserved exterior and solid mechanical foundation, this vehicle offers both immediate enjoyment and potential for further personalization. Whether you're seeking a reliable cruiser or a classic to enhance, this Thunderbird provides an excellent opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. It's an ideal choice for enthusiasts who appreciate the timeless design and robust engineering of mid-60s American classics. Number 4. This 1970 Dodge Dart Swinger 340, priced at $21,000 and located in Crane, Missouri, is a beautifully restored and upgraded classic muscle car. Originally a Slant 6 model, it has been transformed with correct 340 spec parts, including a steel hood with twin scoops, V8 K-member and torsion bars, correct rear seat upholstery, and an 8.75-inch rear axle with upgraded springs. The vehicle now features a new MAG 5.9L 360 cubic inch roller cam crate motor, a 727 automatic transmission, dual exhaust, and front disc brakes with a sway bar for enhanced performance. This Dart Swinger boasts a clean and solid body, meticulously maintained and garage-kept, with fewer than 500 miles on the rebuilt drivetrain. It's in outstanding running condition, with no surprises. The fuel system includes a 3/8-inch fuel line, and the car is painted in Kansas City Chiefs team colors for a bold, distinctive look. Additional upgrades include power steering and modern maintenance to ensure reliability and performance. The interior reflects careful attention to detail, with upholstery matching the 340 model specifications. The exterior is equally impressive, with a straight and solid body complemented by high-quality finishes. Build and maintenance records, with receipts, are included, demonstrating the care and precision invested in this restoration. If you're seeking a powerful and unique classic muscle car, this Dodge Dart Swinger 340 offers a turnkey experience that combines style, performance, and meticulous craftsmanship. Its extensive upgrades and excellent condition make it a standout option for enthusiasts and collectors alike. Number 5. This 1967 Chevrolet Camaro, priced at $17,500 and located in Houston, Texas, presents an exciting restoration opportunity. The car comes complete with all parts needed for assembly, including both new and installed removable body panels, as well as new rear quarter panels. Under the hood is a running small block engine paired with a turbo 350 transmission, making it a solid foundation for a classic muscle car project. Included in the sale are a range of new box components, such as all trim pieces, a stainless steel exhaust, an instrument cluster, and a windshield. The car also features four-wheel disc brakes and a '99 Camaro SS Posey rear end for upgraded performance. Additionally, all the necessary glass and interior pieces are provided, along with various spare parts, making it a comprehensive package for anyone looking to complete the build. The Camaro is mechanically sound, with the drivetrain in place and ready to run. Its new components and upgrades offer a blend of modern performance with vintage appeal. The body, boasting many new panels, is prepared for the finishing touches to make this a standout car once fully restored. Although the title is currently held by a bank, this complete and well-documented project car provides a unique opportunity for a Camaro enthusiast to own and finish a first-generation classic, with extensive potential and significant value upon completion. Number 6. This 1965 Chevrolet Corvair convertible, priced at $11,995 and located in Culver City, California, combines vintage charm with modern reliability, powered by a 164 CID 6-cylinder engine producing 110 horsepower and paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. This classic car offers an engaging driving experience.
In this video, we're going to discover which 426 Hemi-powered Mopars were some of the fastest muscle cars and a bit of its history. Sit back, relax, and let's dive in. The 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 426 Hemi is 12th, with a 14-second quarter mile, traveling 104 miles per hour. By comparison, it was only the 17th fastest muscle car of 1970. Dodge produced 355 Hemi Challenger RTs, including 287 hardtops, 59 SE hardtops, and 9 convertibles. In terms of styling, the 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 426 Hemi was characterized by its bold and aggressive look, wide stance, long hood, and short roofline. It was available in various colors, including high-impact colors like Panther Pink, Go Mango, and Hemi Orange. Inside had luxury features, including bucket seats, a center console, and a sport steering wheel. This provided a comfortable and stylish driving experience, making the Challenger fun as a daily driver or quarter-mile runner. Overall, the 1970 Challenger RT was a highly regarded supercar loved for its impressive power and bold styling. Today, it is considered a classic and is highly sought after by collectors and fans of American muscle cars. The 1967 Dodge Coronet 426 Hemi is 11th, running a 13.9-second quarter mile, traveling 104 miles per hour. However, it was strong enough to be the fastest muscle car of 1967. No production numbers exist. It was a mid-sized muscle car produced by the Dodge division of Chrysler Corporation. It was offered in various models, including the high-performance 500 series, which could be fitted with the powerful 426 Hemi engine. The 1970 Plymouth GTX 426 Hemi is 10th, with a 13.85-second quarter-mile time, traveling 104 miles per hour. Ironically, it was also the 10th fastest muscle car of 1970. Regarding styling, the 1970 Plymouth GTX was similar to the standard GTX with a bold and aggressive look that included a distinctive grille, hood scoop, and rear deck wing. However, it was also fitted with several performance upgrades, such as a heavy-duty suspension, larger brakes, and a performance-tuned exhaust system. Despite its impressive performance, it was not a common car, with only 71 examples produced. Today, it is considered one of the most collectible and valuable muscle cars from the era, with original examples fetching high prices at auctions and car shows. The 1968 Plymouth GTX 426 Hemi is 9th, running a 13.85-second quarter mile, traveling 104 miles per hour. For perspective, during its day, the GTX was the 8th fastest muscle car of 1968. Plymouth produced 446 GTX in 1968, including 410 hardtops and 36 convertibles. The 1968 GTX with a 426 Hemi engine was a high-performance muscle car produced by the Plymouth division of Chrysler Corporation. It was the top-of-the-line performance model in the Plymouth lineup, and the 426 Hemi engine was the most powerful engine option available. Overall, the 68 GTX 426 Hemi was a highly regarded muscle car loved by car enthusiasts for its impressive power, bold styling, and luxurious features. The 1966 Plymouth Satellite 426 Hemi is 8th, with a 13.80-second quarter mile, traveling 103.8 miles per hour. However, it was the second fastest muscle car of 1966. Plymouth produced 844 Hemi Satellites in 1966, including 817 hardtops and 27 convertibles. The 66 Satellite with a 426 Hemi engine was a muscle car option offered by Plymouth. It was available as a mid-sized car, and the Hemi engine was the most powerful engine option. Car and driver stated, "The 1966 Plymouth Hemi Satellite is the best combination of brute performance and tractable street manners we've ever driven." The 1971 Dodge Super Bee came in 7th, running a 13.73-second quarter mile, traveling 104 miles per hour, and was the 8th fastest muscle car of 1971. Dodge produced 22 Hemi Super Bees in 1971. All were hardtops. The Super Bee was a mid-sized car in various models, and the 426 Hemi engine was the most powerful option. The Hemi engine was known for its impressive power, delivering 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. The 71 Super Bee was designed with a bold and aggressive exterior, featuring a long hood, fastback roofline, and a sporty stance. Inside, the Roadrunner was fitted with comfortable and stylish features, offering a premium driving experience for the driver and passengers. The 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner 426 Hemi is 6th, with a 13.5-second quarter mile, traveling 106.5 miles per hour, and was the 3rd fastest muscle car in 1971. Plymouth produced 55 Hemi Roadrunners in 71. All were hardtops. The 1968 Dodge Charger RT 426 Hemi is 5th, running a 13.5-second quarter mile, traveling 105 miles per hour, and was the 2nd fastest muscle car of 1968. Dodge produced 475 Hemi Chargers in 1968. All were hardtops. The 68 Charger RT was a full-sized car in the second-generation Charger lineup. The RT, which stood for Road and Track, was the top-of-the-line performance model, featuring a range of performance enhancements over the standard Charger. Under the hood, the 68 Charger RT was fitted with a powerful engine, with options ranging from a 383 cubic inch V8 to a 426 cubic inch Hemi V8, delivering up to 425 horsepower. The Charger RT was also fitted with performance-oriented suspension and braking systems, making it a capable performer on the road or the track. The 1969 Dodge Charger 500-426 Hemi is fourth with a 13.35 second quarter mile, traveling 104 miles per hour, and was also the seventh fastest muscle car in 1969. Dodge produced 352 Charger 500s in 1969. Unfortunately, no breakdown by engine option is available. Under the hood, it was fitted with a powerful engine, with options ranging from a 383 cubic inch V8 to a 426 cubic inch Hemi V8, delivering up to 425 horsepower. The Charger 500 was a special edition of the standard Charger, featuring unique styling elements and performance enhancements. It was part of the second-generation Charger lineup and was designed to be a more aerodynamic and racing-oriented model. In terms of styling, the 1969 Dodge Charger 500 was characterized by its aerodynamic design, with a sleek and streamlined body that reduced wind resistance and improved overall performance. The 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner 426 Hemi is third, with a 13.34 second quarter mile, traveling 107.5 miles per hour, and was the third fastest muscle car of 1970. Plymouth produced 152 Roadrunners in 1970, including 74 coupes, 75 hardtops, and 3 convertibles. The Roadrunner was a budget-oriented muscle car designed to offer performance and style at an affordable price. The Hemi engine was one of the most powerful engine options in the Roadrunner lineup, delivering exceptional power and performance. The 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner Hemi is second with a 13.32 second quarter mile, traveling 107.7 miles per hour. However, when it was new, the Roadrunner was the sixth fastest muscle car of '69. Plymouth produced 797 Roadrunners in 1969, including 356 coupes, 421 hardtops, and 10 convertibles. The fastest street Hemi on this list is the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda with a 13.10 second quarter mile, traveling at 107.1 miles per hour, and was also the fastest muscle car of 1970. Plymouth produced 666 1970 426 Hemi Cudas, including 652 hardtops and 14 convertibles. The 1970 Plymouth Cuda Hemi was a high-performance muscle car produced by the Plymouth division of Chrysler Corporation. It was based on the Plymouth Barracuda and was fitted with the powerful 426 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine, one of the most powerful engine options in the lineup. We want to hear from you. What is your favorite 426 Hemi Mopar muscle car?
Number 10, 1983 Chevrolet Corvette. Intended to reach the public in October 1982 for the 1983 model year, the C4 Chevy Corvette had everyone on the edge of their seats. GM, however, postponed the C4's public release. Due to some last-minute design changes and reliability concerns, GM decided to release the C4 Corvette in March 1983, and all the models sold from March 1983 onwards were marked as 1984 model year Corvettes. That said, Chevy did produce a handful of 1983 model year Corvettes that very few people know about. 61 units of the 83 model year to be exact, 18 of which were prototypes, and 43 were pilot line cars. Unfortunately, most 1983 model year Corvettes were destroyed before reaching the public. It's known that only one 1983 Chevrolet Corvette still exists. Number 9. 1967 Chevrolet Corvette L88. At first glance, the 1967 Chevy Corvette L88 looks like any other C2 Corvette. However, only 20 1967 model year examples of the L88 Corvette exist. These L88 Corvettes were extraordinary due to GM's mighty 427 cubic inch big block V8 engine, with a forged steel cross-drilled crankshaft, forged connecting rods, aluminum pistons, a higher compression ratio, a robust lifter camshaft, aluminum cylinder heads, and the largest Holley carburetor ever featured on a GM production engine. The L88 had 430 horsepower, but in reality, it didn't. Designed to only use high-octane fuel, the 1967 Chevy Corvette L88 made much more power than advertised. Many claim that the 67 Corvette L88's big block engine produces between 540 and 580 horsepower, which was miles ahead of all the other great muscle cars from the 60s, like the Mustang Shelby GT500 and Dodge Charger. 1967 Corvette L89. To the average onlooker, the L89 Corvette and every other C2 Chevy Corvette look the same. The tri-power 427 cubic inch V8 that nests underneath the L89's hood made more power than the L88 on paper. The aluminum V8 engine also benefited from other goodies, such as bigger exhaust valves and a radiator shroud that ensured you wouldn't overheat at every second stoplight. Ironically, despite being more scarce than the aforementioned L88, the L89 is significantly cheaper than the more common L88. GM built the L88 Corvette with both lightness and sheer power, but also usability in mind. (1971) Chevrolet Corvette ZR2. Sporting a timeless design and one of the greatest American V8 engines of all time, the 454 cubic inch LS6 V8 engine, the 1971 Corvette ZR2 was one of the very last over-the-top sports cars built before American manufacturers needed to fit their cars with more eco-friendly engines in response to the oil crisis. But Chevy knew the lifetime of its gas-guzzling Corvette was limited, so the company went all out. The ZR2 package includes things like a Muncie M22 transmission, heavy-duty brakes, and larger anti-sway bars. It featured the same 454 cubic inch engine that the Chevelle SS utilized at the time, but GM reckoned it only had 425 horsepower. However, the Chevelle's 454 V8 had 450 horsepower on tap. Regardless of power figures, the old ZR2 Corvette clocked a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of just 5.3 seconds, and a quarter-mile time of 13.8 seconds. Number 6. 1969 to 1971 Chevrolet Corvette Baldwin Motion Phase 3 GT. Although it may not look like a Corvette at first glance, underneath its unique bodywork, it's still a C3 Corvette. Baldwin was to Chevy what Alpina is to BMW, an independent tuning company that specialized in certain models. In Baldwin's case, it was Corvettes. The Phase 3 GT was by far Baldwin Motion's most rare creation, as only 10 examples exist. Although the whereabouts of these exotic-looking classic Corvettes remain somewhat blurry, these muscle cars tend to hide in celebrity car collections. A few years back, a 1969 Phase 3 GT Baldwin Motion Corvette sold on Mecum for $121,000. 1971 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 Coupe. It's difficult putting a price on a car that never reaches action. The last original 71 Corvette ZR1 sold at auction nearly a decade ago on Barrett-Jackson for $220,000. As previously mentioned, GM gave the public some of the most powerful production cars ever during the early 70s. Instead of fitting the 1971 Corvette ZR1 with that monstrous 454 big block engine, GM gave the ZR1 a gnarly 350 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 390 horsepower. Other remarkable features of the 71 ZR1 are body color roof panels, a removable rear window, rally wheels, and a luggage rack. Albeit not as powerful as the other Corvettes on this list, it was one of the rarest to come by with only 8 units in existence. The ZR1 name became so famous that Chevy featured it on many other Vette models over the years, including the rumored 2025 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. Number 4. 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. Just like the famous Shelby Cobra 427, the classic Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport is worth an obscene amount of money. Another thing these classic American cars have in common, though, is the sheer amount of replica cars plaguing the automotive space. Generally speaking, replica Corvette Grand Sport models sell for just over $100,000, but an original Grand Sport is priceless. GM originally intended to build 150 Grand Sport Corvettes to adhere to the homologation standards at the time for entry into the GT production class. That said, GM only built 5 cars before it changed the course of action because the company was no longer interested in racing. It's such a shame the 1963 Corvette Grand Sport never saw the likes of an actual racetrack. Maybe the Ford GT40 would have had a worthy adversary after all. (1986) Chevrolet Corvette in copper metallic. There's a stereotype that states that most Corvette owners claim their car is rare is because of its exterior color and interior trim combination. Although there is some truth to that statement, some Corvette owners are misinformed. If you were to own a 1986 Chevy Corvette finished in what Chevy called copper metallic, then you have a right to claim your car is rare. There were no significant engine modifications included in this color option, nor was it part of a special optional package. The copper metallic color was available during a few years of the C4's production run, but in 1986, only 4 Corvette buyers optioned it. Keep in mind that more than 35,000 1986 Corvettes were sold. Therefore, only a handful of the 1986 model year Corvettes were copper metallic. Number 2, the 1969 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1. It's not often that you can say a car is priceless, but this is the case with the following 2 Corvettes based on the C3 Corvette generation. Only 2 examples of the 1969 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1 left the factory, and these cars' values are dependent on what buyers are willing to pay. At an RM Sotheby's auction last year, one of these incredibly rare ZL1 models crossed the block and sold for $3.14 million. Powering this piece of American art is a 427 cubic inch L88 V8 mill. The ZL1 C3 Corvette came with all the performance upgrades the other, cheaper models did, like heavy-duty brakes and suspension, and lacked things like a radio and a heating system. Number 1, 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Rondine. The 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Rondine is like no other Corvette on the planet. Only one exists, and it was altered by none other than the Italian coach builders, Pininfarina. Back in the day, Pininfarina sculpted the most mesmerizing cars the world has ever seen, like the show-stopping Ferrari 308 GTB. The stunning Corvette Rondine made its first public appearance at the 1963 Paris Motor Show. After stealing the show at the Paris Motor Show, Chevy decided against hiring Pininfarina to make a fleet of Rondine Corvettes. Eventually, the only Chevrolet Corvette Rondine found a home at Pininfarina's museum until 2008. 2 years thereafter, the Rondine was auctioned off for $1.6 million. The cherry on the cake, however, is that contrary to what other cars on this list may have you believe, the Rondine's price isn't this absurd because of its engine. The Rondine Corvette had the exact same 327 cubic inch small block engine as the ordinary C2 Corvette. Sometimes you can judge a book by just its cover.
In this video, we're going to take a look at the ultimate list of AMC muscle cars. Let's dive in. The AMC AMX is a two-seater sports car built from 1968 to 1970 to compete as a budget alternative to the Chevrolet Corvette and was a lighter, shorter, and more compressed Javelin. The highest performance engine was the 390 V8 in 1970, with 10.2 compression, 325 horsepower, and 420 pound-feet of torque. While impressive on paper, it wasn't one of the top 10 fastest muscle cars of 1970 and almost came in dead last out of 29 tested, barely beating the Monte Carlo SS 454 and Rally 350. Three vibrant paint color options known as Big Bad were offered in 1969 and 1970, including orange, green, and blue. This naming had nothing to do with any performance modifications. In the 70 issue of Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazine, a 1970 AMC AMX ran a 14.46 second quarter mile, traveling 95.6 miles per hour. While 1970 ended the standalone two-seater body style, the AMX continued in the four-seat Javelin platform from 1971 to 1974. In 1971, the AMX transplanted to the Javelin hardtop body style to compete against the Ford Mustang, Mercury Cougar, and Chevrolet Camaro. The AMX was AMC's first true pony car that offered sleek styling, comfortable seating for four, and a big block. The 401 cubic inch V8 replaced the 390 V8 and offered 9.5 to 1 compression, 330 horsepower, and 430 pound-feet of torque. A more economical 360 V8 was also an option. In the 1971 issue of Sport Car Graphic magazine, a 71 AMX 401 ran the quarter mile in 14.3 seconds, traveling 98.8 miles per hour, making it the 12th fastest muscle car of 1971. American Motors never produced a high-horsepower V8 Gremlin. The largest engine option was a 304 V8 from the factory. However, that didn't stop one AMC dealer from developing one. Located in Mesa, Arizona, Randall AMC was given the green light by AMC to produce 401 cubic inch V8-powered Gremlins. These dealer-modified Gremlin X sold for $2,995 from 1972 to 1974. Randall AMC had a long racing history, and they put that knowledge to work on 401 XR. They added a larger cam, high-rise manifold, higher CFM carburetor, heavy-duty driveline, and other performance-oriented modifications to the mix. Known as the Randall 401 XR, they all started life as a 304 V8-powered Gremlin X. Once converted, the 401 XR produced a 13.9-second quarter-mile run, traveling at 103 miles per hour. While the Gremlin X sold more than 671,000 units in its model run, only 22 Randall 401 XRs were produced. The 1974 AMC Gremlin Randall 401 XR featured in the photo is the last one produced. It sold for $26,550 in 2018, with a few additional modifications. It ran a 12.22 second quarter mile, traveling 115.07 miles per hour. The Rebel Machine was a one-year-only high-performance muscle car model option offered on the 1970 AMC Rebel and was one of the most radical muscle cars ever produced. The first 1,000 1970 AMC Rebel machines produced were painted the patriotic red, white, and blue color scheme. The remaining 1,326 were available in any standard Rebel paint color. A 390 V8 powered all 2,326 with 10.2 compression, 340 horsepower, and 427 pound-feet of torque. In addition, the machine option included a blacked-out grille, 15-inch wheels, 8,000 revolutions per minute hood tack, and functional hood scoops. In the January 1970 issue of Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazine, a Rebel machine ran a best of 14.40 seconds in the quarter mile, traveling 100.6 miles per hour. The 1971 AMC Matador machine was the second time AMX offered the machine and picked up where the 1970 AMC Rebel machine left off. While the machine nameplate continued in 1971, the patriotic red, white, and blue paint scheme and 390 V8 from 1970 didn't. Neither did the functional ram air induction hood. The 71 Matador machine wasn't a standalone model and became a bundle option called the Machine Go package. This package included 15-inch wheels, power disc brakes, dual exhaust, and a heavy-duty handling package. A 1971 Matador machine could be ordered in any standard Matador paint color and could be optioned with either a 360 or a 401 V8. The 401 produced 330 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Unfortunately, the 1971 Matador machine production run was cut short at approximately 50 vehicles. No official production records exist. The 1969 AMC Hearst SC Rambler was a $2,998 budget performance muscle car that was produced for NHRA stock class drag racing. It, too, was a one-year-only model. The SC Rambler option included a 390 V8 with 315 horsepower, 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed close-ratio manual transmission, Hearst shifter and linkage, Suntac, dual exhaust, functional hood scoops, twin-grip differential, power front disc brakes, handling package, heavy-duty cooling system, hood pings, teardrop racing mirrors, and a custom grille. 2 paint color options were offered, A scheme and B scheme. The A scheme started with a white base with an oversized red side body stripe and a blue stripe across the vehicle's top. The B scheme also started with a white base but with 2 side body stripes, one red and one blue, running the length of the lower panels. In the May 1969 issue of Road Test magazine, a 69 Hearst SC Rambler ran a best of 14.14 seconds in the quarter mile, traveling at 100.9 miles per hour. While American Motors had planned a 500-vehicle production run, they produced 1,502 when it was all said and done. The iconic 1969 AMC Hearst SS AMX was produced, specially modified, and prepared for NHRA and AHRA drag racing competitions. According to the window sticker, it was intended for use in supervised acceleration trials and is not intended for highway or general passenger use. Originally, only 50 Hearst SS AMX were slated for production. However, thanks to Sunset AMC, 2 additional units were accommodated. Car number 52 was recently found in 2019. The suggested retail price of a 1969 AMC Hearst SS AMX was a hefty $5,994, which translates into $41,438 in today's dollars. Because the Hearst SS AMX was solely intended for drag racing, it was sold as is and did not include the standard 12 months or 12,000-mile vehicle warranty, or the 5 years 50,000-mile powertrain warranty. The 52 white 390 cubic inch V8 equipped 1969 AMC AMX were sent from Kenosha, Wisconsin to Hearst Performance Products in Ferndale, Michigan for conversion. The conversion included a smattering of high-performance modifications, including a specially modified 390 V8 engine with 12.3-to-1 compression, Edelbrock aluminum dual-cross ram intake manifold, twin Holley 650 carburetors, functional cold-air metal hood scoop, Doug's Superstock exhaust headers and exhaust system, 4.44 rear gear ratio, twin-grip differential, Mallory ignition, Hearst remote shifter, Borg Warner close ratio 4-speed transmission, heavy-duty competition Superstock clutch, Lakewood hydroformed explosion-proof bell housing, heavy-duty radiator, trunk-mounted battery, plus a few other goodies. Even the rear wheel wells were modified to accommodate racing slicks. No options were offered on the SS AMX. However, 2 paint schemes were available, including the iconic red, white, and blue or a solid frost white version for those who wanted to customize their own paint scheme. According to AMC, a 1969 Hearst SS AMX ran a quarter-mile time of 11.08 seconds, traveling at 127.1 miles per hour. Of the 52 built, roughly 40 have been accounted for in the SS AMX registry. Like many other AMC muscle cars, this was also a one-year-only option. The 1971 AMC Hornet SC 360 was a limited production run AMC muscle car produced from August 1970 until February 1971. The SC360 was a slam dunk idea given that the Hornet platform could already accommodate a 304 V8 engine, which was the same externally as the 360. With a few stripes, a twin grip differential, and a hood scoop, the 1971 Hornet SC was born. The retail price for this compact rocket was value-priced at $2,663. The 4-barrel 360 cubic inch V8 with dual exhaust produced 285 horsepower, while the 2-barrel option with single exhaust generated 245 horsepower. In the December 1970 issue of Hot Rod magazine, a 71 Hornet SC 360 ran a quarter mile at 14.8 seconds, traveling 94.63 miles per hour. In total, 578 Hornet SC 360 were equipped with a 4-barrel carburetor and 206 with a 2-barrel. All 784 Super Coupe 360 were sedans. The 1970 AMC Trans Am Javelin SST was a one-year-only homologation special to compete in SCCA Trans Am Racing Clad. With a factory price of $3,995, it is no wonder that AMC only produced 100 Trans Am Javelins of the 19,714 Javelin units built in 1970. In addition to the tri-colored paint job, the Trans Am Javelin came equipped with a 390 V8 engine with 325 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, Go package, heavy-duty cooling system, dual exhaust, Ram induction system, Borg-Warner T10 4-speed manual transmission, and Hurst competition shifter. The 1970 Mark Donahue Javelin was another homologation special to help satisfy the 2,500 unit requirement for a new specialized ducktail rear deck lid spoiler and functional Ram air system to be allowed for use on the SSCA racing circuit. Every Mark Donahue Javelin was equipped with the Go package that included front disc brakes, heavy-duty suspension, upgraded cooling system, dual exhaust, twin grip rear end, 140 miles per hour speedo, and a 4-speed manual transmission as standard with a 3-speed automatic transmission offered as an option. The Go package was a term used to describe a performance package offered on the AMX, Javelin, Hornet SC 360, and the Matador machine. Contents of the package varied from 1968 to 1974 and from model to model. Mark Donahue Javelins were available in any standard Javelin color, including Big Bad Orange, Blue, and Green. AMC produced 2,501 Mark Donahue Javelins, beating the 2,500 homologation requirements by 1 unit.